What's up, Facebook world? This is CJ and Art, two of the three of the Hemp Cbd Company, Ahwatukee. We are doing it a little bit different this time. We are out here on location at what is going to be here shortly, the Hemp Cbd location number 3. We are here in Maricopa, Arizona, and you guys are hearing it first. So if it looks like he's looking down in his lap, it's because he's trying to share this and get people to see it. So that's what he's looking at his lap for.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we are going to be opening a Hemp Cbd company here in Maricopa, Arizona, as the demand has definitely increased, and we deemed it necessary to have a location here in Maricopa for the proximity of folks that cannot make it out to Ahwatukee or Tucson or Chandler or Gilbert or Scottsdale or any of the other places that we're going to be here very shortly. Hey, Laura Arnett, what's up? So Laura Arnett is a hemp and CBD advocate. She represents products that are widely available out there. And after having conversations with her, I've known Laura for a long time. And she is a good person to speak with about the benefits of hemp and CBD. And even though she doesn't sell our products, we're not against having good conversations with people that represent the product correctly. So today, I can't share this on my phone, and I'm kind of waiting for Sally to share it to get a little love.
I can't share it either, so we're having technical difficulties.
So that's over the age of 35.
Could be.
Facebook? What's Facebook? But anyways, so we said we were going to do a live question session, and we like to do what we say, so we're doing it live, remote, from Maricopa. Today we are kind of going to talk a little bit about the different products that you see out there in respects to what is in it and what are they labeling it, etc., etc. Mainly we're talking isolate CBD products, broad spectrum CBD products, and full spectrum CBD products, which we'll break down here for you very shortly. What's up, guys? What's up? We got the Dragon Snake. The Dragon Snake is watching. What's up, Dragon Snake? Jeffrey Fuller. Like and share, buddy. Like and share. So, you guys remember Art from last week's question session? You don't see him live on too many things, but we're getting that.
You will.
We're gonna get that
Coming around.
because he is, again, he's the Yoda. He's done and designated and devoted a lot of time and a lot of hours and a lot of money to learning and becoming an expert in this field. So
I do my best. And going off Robert, good question. Highest CBD flower. We're going to roll with that. There's a lot right now. What we have in stock is a little bit over 16% CBD. But going off of that, flower is a great way to explain full spectrum. When you're getting into any CBD product, full spectrum is what you want to have. We'll talk about why you might not be able to partake in full spectrum, but if you are able to, you're going to get the most benefit out of full spectrum. So what is full spectrum? It's exactly that. Now, a lot of people are saying it's everything, all the cannabinoids, all the terpenoids. Yes and no. It's true. Yes, it's all the terpenoids and cannabinoids, but only what's present in that strain that was extracted. So could have been the strain was grown with very high amount of CBD, but there was no CBN. So you're missing a very crucial element, but that's just how the plant grew. So you are getting the full spectrum, but only from what that strain was available to extract from.
On that, I don't want to interrupt, but on that, I use this example of a witch's brew. So you've got these products that are touting full spectrum. Well, you have full spectrum, a true full spectrum, which, as Art explained, is a little finger all across the table. But as Art explained, true full spectrum is extracted from whole plant, one plant. A lot of the stuff you are seeing out there on the market right now is several bits and pieces of extractions from different plants. They're not coming from any one specific plant. So, okay, Paso, we got Mexico tuning in. Sonora, Mexico. But where I was at, so you've got a witch's brew, where they're claiming, hey, this is a full spectrum product, but I'm taking a little bit of this terpene from that, a little bit of this from that, let's throw a little bit of that in there. Now that's all great and grand. You get those things, but how do you keep it consistent from one batch to the next? Or from, say I buy that product this month, and next month I go buy that product and the lab results are completely different. So now how am I supposed to go about getting a reliable source for my product?
Exactly. So, and that being said, you know, a true reliable source of oil, when we're talking about the tinctures or the CBD oil, yes, it's going to be a full spectrum and it's going to be consistent because they're growing it, as do we with our product, that it's starting from farm and then going to table. So we're going to have a reliable strain. Sure, there's going to be some slight variance depending on the time of the year that it's grown. It might be a little bit higher, like very minimal one batch to the next, but it's going to be the same strain consistently, versus a lot of these people that are buying bulk on the market, you know, from a wholesaler, and they might be getting cherry wine that's extracted one day, which is one strain, and then go to Super Haze the next batch, and it's totally different. The customers are not getting what they expected because they're looking for the same benefit that they got the first time if it worked for them. But we're seeing that even more prevalent in what's called broad spectrum. So full spectrum, as we touched on, is, you know, everything that is there in that strain when it's extracted. And
now that also includes that up to 0.3% THC, guys. Remember that that full spectrum is going to have those THC benefits in there as well. Now again, at the 0.3 or less, you're not going to feel any psychoactive effects. It's not going to give you any negatives that you would get with the THC consumption in marijuana. Again, it's a full spectrum, full plant, all health benefits. We wholeheartedly, both of us, I can speak for both of us on this, we believe in the whole plant benefit, the cannabis plant, in THC and all of that, and we'll talk about that later down the road when things get figured out with legality and all that fun stuff. But we do want you to know that the amounts of THC that are in those full spectrum products are not something to be afraid of. Again, it's not any amount that is going to give you any type of high or anything like that. But again, those benefits that you get from those trace amounts of THC are worth having those products in there if that's something that you can do.
Yeah, 100%, Laura, we agree with you. Full spectrum is amazing. That being said, it is for everyone, but can't necessarily everybody use it, because if you are, you know, blessed with a great job, but that great job in turn has very strict compliance and testing that's done, then full spectrum is not going to be for you, because this is a big part that's missing. And why we do this is to educate people, because there's a lot of vape stores,
testing,
smoke stores, other CBD stores, even in Arizona I've heard of switching labels because, well, I don't want to tell somebody there's THC in it. Well, if they've got a CDL, they get US DOT random testing, they're a federal employee, they could potentially lose their job because of what somebody is not telling them is in the product. So yes, as CJ said, it has 0.3% THC. You will never feel a psychoactive effect or a high from it, but it could jeopardize your employment. That can happen if it's used consistently enough. That trace amount is enough to drop dirty. And it's standard policy here at the Hemp Cbd Company that if that's ever even a concern, we take that off the table in our discussions. Where, you know, we are not out here to make a buck. The whole goal is to provide you a service. Now, if we're giving you a product that could potentially put your job and your livelihood at risk, what kind of service would we be providing for you? Exactly.
So across the board, you know, and that's why we have these conversations with folks. You know, and that's one of the first things we ask: is THC a concern? Do you have any concerns with drug testing for your employment? Is there anything that would put your job or your livelihood at risk by using a product that we provide? Now, we would never want to do that. So again, you know, that's why we have these conversations. We want to know and we want to be sure that we're providing you with the best product that best fits your situation, because that's what it's all about. A better quality of life. And if we're giving you a better quality of life and you ain't got a job and you can't pay to get the stuff that makes you feel better, that's not us doing you any good.
Exactly. Now, when you have that problem, and I don't want to call it a problem, but when you have that obstacle and you still need the help, whether it's anxiety, pain, any ailment that you're seeking CBD to help relieve, then we will in turn guide you towards broad spectrum. So broad spectrum, if you can picture, you know, the whole plant with all the different molecules that are in there, CBD, CBG, and those trace amounts of THC, all that's removed in a true broad spectrum are the THC molecules. Now, back to CJ's point, there are a lot of witch's brew, and even more so with broad spectrum. I could name, but I won't badmouth them here. I can share that with
for
you
the
in
report.
shop.
We're going to give you the bad CBD report in one day.
But there are companies out there that are taking an isolate, which we'll get to next, just the CBD molecule, and they're adding in terpenoids, which aren't even cannabis terpenoids, okay? They're adding citrus or fruit or all kinds of other plants. We don't know where they're getting it from. They might even add a couple cannabis molecules in there, and now they're calling it broad spectrum. No, not the case.
That's a witch's brew.
True broad spectrum, full spectrum, goes through a secondary process of just removing the THC. It is a little bit more expensive because if it's a true broad spectrum, they've got to go through that process. They've got to remove it. And at the Hemp Cbd Co, we are very adamant about looking how do they remove it. We make sure that it's solvent free. The companies that we carry and offer to you are not using hexane, butane, ethanol, alcohol, any of those solvents that we don't want to degrade or ruin the purity of what they're getting. We want you to get the best product. And again, broad spectrum, full plant benefit, full spectrum, minus THC. That's all you're missing. It is, you are missing some benefits that can be there, but when it's job related or other and you're getting drug tested, we will not want you, we will advise you against it because it can happen where you fail that test. Broad spectrum is the best choice for you. Then we get into isolate. Isolate is, I would say, the least effective. It does work for a lot of people. I'm not going to knock it. However, in comparison to broad spectrum or full spectrum, you're getting a fraction of what you get in either one. Okay, you're only getting CBD molecule. It's a wonderful part of the plant. But by itself, there is no entourage effect. Essentially, you're playing a game with one member on the team.
All right, this is where my good analogy comes in. I use this all the time. So, you got isolate, which is the field goal kicker. Let's put this in football terms, guys. What do we relate to? I can tell you what's wrong with a woman and how to fix it by relating it to a Chevy truck.
Touchy subject.
I know, I shouldn't have said it that way. But not
Nothing
necessarily
wrong.
that.
Nothing wrong. It's all us.
We're biased when it comes to trucks. So you've got your field goal kicker. Boom. Scores your points. Great guy to have on the team. Played soccer in high school. Really good dude. We like him. But you don't go to the Super Bowl with just your field goal kicker. Okay? You gonna go to the Super Bowl with just your field goal kicker, guys? Nope.
You'll lose, especially if it's the Bears kicker.
Full spectrum. That's your whole football team. You're going to take your whole football team to the field goal, to the big game to get the results, right? Broad spectrum, we're going to just play an offensive game today. So that's kind of a little way I break it down. It's funny to watch all the ladies because they don't know what football is, and I've been out of football for so long I could barely hardly relate to it anyways. But yeah, it's kind of a way to put it in a
layman's terms.
Layman's terms, I guess. From a layman to a layman.
So, whether it's a football kicker or it's a lack of entourage, however you want to have it in your mind, just picture this. If you're taking a dose of 1,000 milligram, okay, so you're taking whatever that bottle recommends it to be, half a dropper, a full dropper, so let's say 20 milligrams of an isolate, and then you're taking 20 milligrams of a full or broad spectrum, you're essentially getting, I don't even want to relate it to a percentage because it wouldn't be completely accurate since everybody's body's different. But you're getting 1 out of possibly over 100 cannabinoids that all have benefits to them. And then you're getting no terpenoids at all if it's a true isolate. Okay, so the only benefit to this is that a lot of companies out there are saying, if you take an isolate, you won't fail a drug test. I'm sorry guys, that's wrong too. Because if you're going with a real strict drug test, they look at every cannabinoid in the profile. So, this isn't to scare you, this is to educate you. And I would say take it upon yourself to call those labs that you could potentially have your drug screening done and tell them there's nothing wrong with that, and say, I'm looking into possibly taking CBD for relief. Will that show up? I don't want to jeopardize my job. There's nothing wrong with being proactive in the approach and making sure that you're not going to lose your livelihood. But back to its benefits or lack thereof in comparison to full and broad spectrum, guys, you're getting a fraction of it. And the price difference is not huge. I mean, we sell full spectrum and broad spectrum, taking a 500 milligram into consideration for maybe 5 to 10% more than your isolate is going to cost you. And we have some of the lowest prices that you'll find in Arizona, if not the lowest prices for quality products, okay? We're not going to sell you stuff that's 10% CBD.
The snake oils that I talk about, that's what they're taking in the isolate product, and they're putting it into whatever lotion or cream or oil or whatever they put it in, and they're slapping CBD on it, and they're slapping it on the shelves, and they're slapping you for a couple $100, okay? That's not how it works. That's not how we do good business. Again, would you pay multi-millions for just a field goal kicker if you're going to the Super Bowl and you had like a Dallas Cowboys budget? I don't know. That's a weird analogy, but
no.
You get it, right? Like
the answer is no. And take it a step further, guys, and how you're going to spend your money for your relief. Okay, you're already investing into your wellness. Okay, and that's what we provide is education for wellness. Okay, and wellness products. So because of that, why would you sell yourself short for literally a fraction of the difference when it could make a world of difference to you and the benefits that you receive from it? And a lot of people are, just raving the reviews that they're getting for the isolate they're selling, and I'm very happy that it's helping change lives. Okay, I don't want to negate the benefit of what's happening to people and the success they're feeling from taking in an isolate product. But imagine how much more beneficial it could be if you were getting that whole plant in you. Okay, you're taking a fraction of what you could get for relief. So if you're already feeling that relief, that's great. Let's take it up a notch, because I'm sure it's not doing 100% of the job you want it to do. We can always improve on what we have, guys. And don't be fooled by the 99.9% CBD. Yes, of course, it's extracted isolate. They're isolating that cell. That's what they're getting. Okay, but that doesn't mean anything in relation to the fact that they're missing the whole rest of the plant. Okay, you're missing the whole movie for just a small fraction of it. You're getting the trailer instead of the movie. Okay, well, you might find out what happens and get a lot of the good scenes.
Sorry, we're losing light.
But just like that, the camera's off at some point of the film. You're missing something.
That from me.
So, looking for any questions here. Guys, if you have any questions on what we're talking about, please let us know. We want to address them. That's why we're here.
I have one. You've mentioned it a bunch of times. Terpenes. Explain what a terpene is, because we're seeing that more and more on marketing and things like that.
Yeah, so a lot of plants, I would say actually every plant out there has terpenoids, okay? That's going to be that smell, so the aroma, the taste, all those other tangibles. You've got flavonoids in food as well as in, produce, but terpenoids are the essence of the plant. Aside from the molecular structure, it's a whole nother world that is part of the cannabis hemp plant, okay? And without it, you're missing numerous benefits. And again, don't take our word for it, guys. Go on Google right now, look up terpenoid benefits in hemp, and they're amazing. You've got mood enhancement.
Who would have thought that skunky smell that half of us love and half of us hate, that smell like a skunk, really does have a ton, it's packed with a ton of just killer benefits.
Yes.
The citrusy smell, limonene, that they're finding that has insane results when it comes to being applied directly to breast cancer cells. And this is in labs, the lab results. This isn't something I'm making up or talking about. Limonene has been shown to kill breast cancer cells in a lab.
As well as mood enhancement. And what that means, guys, is anxiety. All of us get wound up. We get road rage. Or we're facing depression just from everyday life hitting so hard. You've got a ton of other things that are neurological and, attack us emotionally. Bipolar disease is a real thing. People are faced with it every day. A mood enhancement part of the plant is essential to your regaining your wellness. So why would you leave it out of the recipe and just take isolate that has no flavor or anything else? That tells you right now it's devoid of terpenes. Now again, witch's brew, there are some isolates out there that add them back in. Now I can tell you, they're gonna have more effect. But at the end of the day, are they synthetic? Because there are synthetic terpenoids, guys. If you look up right now on Google Shopping, you can buy terpenoids from China. We don't know where they're coming from. We don't know if they're made in a lab, but they probably are because they're really cheap.
It's a byproduct of the plastic toy that you bought.
Or the lead paint that was on your Walmart toy.
It gets here.
Yeah, so look out for that, guys. It's happening. And again, do your own research. But you'll see, if you look online for shopping, you'll find these terpenoids are cannabis terpenoids. They say derived from cannabis, and they're expensive. And then all of a sudden right next to it, for a 20th of the price, you get allegedly the same terpenoid. It's made in a lab, guys. It's synthetic. Why would we put synthetic things in our body? That's what we're
Snake
trying
oil.
to
Don't
heal
buy the
ourselves
snake
from.
oil.
Please don't.
Don't buy the snake oil.
Unless you're buying it from the guy who was pulled over by Maricopa PD that we featured on our feed at one time, in which case it's great because then we can get a picture of that and it'll be even funnier. He's giving us content.
CBD
so.
on the side of the highway, yeah. You know, that was right around the corner from the new CBD store here, the Hemp Cbd Company, Maricopa. So, what's up, guys? Terry, Laura, Mashante, you use it for patching up after you get in fights and stuff, dude? You use CBD? Come on, let's hear it, guys. Let's get some questions or something.
You know,
if not, go back in there and start painting again.
We do have work to do, but you know, we don't want to take time away from the work and in the service that we're providing to you by doing these. As CJ said, yeah, I'm not a live guy, but for the people out there, I have to be, because there's just not enough of this. We want to give you the information, but we truly need you to interact, give us feedback, talk to us, comments, questions.
We know you've seen the Choco Buds video. People come in and tell me that all the time. Education is key, absolutely.
You know, everybody's opinion is different. I think they look cool. I mean, if I can eat, you know, a little taste of chocolate with some great CBD in it, and whether it looks like something that a father or mother has experienced at some time, for me, I gotta say, they do look like some nugs, you know? They look like some flour.
Buds, yeah. Laura got to try a Choco Bud, huh? Yep. She got to try a Choco Bud when she came in.
You know, and the sample bar is amazing, guys. Again, this is where you can come in, and we don't just have our full spectrum products on the sample bar. For those of you that are in need of relief and are skeptical, come in. Let us share with you the broad spectrum products we have so that you can see the difference. If you've been taking isolate and you are happy with the results, we'd happily supply you with what you want if it is isolate. But we do want to show you, hey, there's a difference. So here's your isolate you wanted, sir or ma'am, but also please try the broad spectrum. It's free. Go home 30 minutes from now, you're probably going to come back for broad spectrum. So just give it a try. Full spectrum, again, is going to be the end-all be-all, but if you do have that drug screen that work is mandating, we do have a solution for you.
And again, you know, this is a business for us, but this is a passion. This is a health and wellness thing. This is something we use in our daily lives, that our children, our parents, our sisters, our brothers, everybody that we know, I mean, they find benefit from it. We're not doing this to take advantage of the hype because it's a good business decision or any of that. You know, if we come in and can educate you on a product and you go at least get the right stuff and get the good quality from somewhere else, hey, we've done our part. We're not going to bash anybody on that. We're not going to bash you if you choose to buy it at a different place. But as long as we can help you be educated on what you're looking at and decipher through all of the stuff that's out there, all of the, our product is this and our product is that, and because it's out there, people, I mean, it's all over the place. So,
and to touch on that, CJ, not to bash, you said bash, I thought bashes, because it is everywhere. It's going to come to every grocery store, convenience store near you. It's already at smoke and vape shops, some Circle K's and 7-Elevens. And again, if you're finding relief, that's great, but pay attention to a few things, guys. If you can go online or you can come into our shop and you find it for a certain price, they're taking advantage of the convenience that you're already shopping at Fry's, Walmart, or other. And from what I hear, retailers are charging above MSRP, okay, because they know that it's a convenience item you're picking up. Well, I don't want somebody who barely knows the produce section to try to sell me something about wellness that they know nothing about. So come to us for the education, and if you do happen to be a customer there, we are not sad about it, but at least you're learning about what you're putting in your body first, and hopefully that knowledge is a benefit to you enough that you'll come back and share your business and love with us.
And to what Laura's saying here, you know, CVS is carrying it in certain states, and just from the last few weeks, Art and I have seen several people, pharmacists, store GMs, things like that, coming into the Hemp Cbd Company to learn about the product at our store. The main thing is that they're being expected to sell these CBD products and sell this stuff that up until a couple months ago, they were told not to even talk about it. Okay, this was taboo. This wasn't something, you did not talk to your patients about CBD because that would steer them away from buying the pharmaceuticals that you are there to facilitate as a pharmacist. Now, these guys are coming in and they've got staff of 30 plus pharmacists. This guy I talked to the other day. 30 plus pharmacists that not a single one of them knows or has ever seen CBD. And it is their job to be the ones to facilitate this. Now, we hope that with their corporate budgets and all of that stuff, that they invest in some education for their folks, for the good of their customer base. But again, do your research. They're buying what is a good price at a super large amount, and those are going to be names that you're going to recognize because they're selling huge amounts of stuff.
Some of them.
But it's not always the best stuff.
Yeah, and how are you going to know when your pharmacist, one, didn't go to school for it, and as we heard directly from a pharmacist, I didn't go to school for years to learn about something that isn't even classified yet as a supplement. How do I know anything about it? That's why I came to you guys for education. So we're educating the future retailers of tomorrow. We have no problem with that. We want to share the education with everybody, so at least the right word and right knowledge is getting out to you folks who are coming in and shopping, whether it be with us or someone else. But again, I'd say, would you rather come to the place that you know is not only on top of the knowledge, but is going to do the knowledge and look at the reports from all the products that we carry? Because at the end of the day, the person who's making the decisions for CVS, Walmart, and Fry's, they're not the guys who are selling it. They're not getting educated about it. They're looking at numbers, which means they're looking at you and the people buying the product as numbers. We won't ever do that. That's why we're taking time out of our day to spend it with you.
And in his, to carry on what he was saying, we're not just educating ourselves in the products that we carry. We get approached daily. I mean, I talked to 6 different reps today from all over the country. People walk in the store all the time. They try to sell us this and that and the other. They leave us samples and they want us to sell what's hot. And this is what's flying off the shelves. Get out of my store. That's not how we roll. It blows my mind. But so, I mean, it's kind of at a point right now where the guy with the best marketing is getting the most noise and the most buzz. To hell with the marketing.
That'll be on our bad consumer report coming soon.
Yes.
There's a bunch of those guys. Be careful.
Hi, Mom. No, it's okay. You didn't lose track of time. We're doing it remote on location from the currently under construction Maricopa Hemp Cbd Company. I hadn't even had a chance to tell you about that, I don't think.
Coming soon.
Everybody say what's up. My mom's on here.
Hi,
What's up,
Mom.
But yeah, so again, just, sorry we had to do it out here in the dark and on location, but in the building here, there's no service. So, but yeah, we just wanted to deliver on what we promised. And we are going to do this again. We're going to skip next Thursday because it is the 4th of July. And then we'll come back the week after that with session number 3 and following week, session number 4 of the Hemp Cbd Company question session. In the meantime, if there are any questions or you have any concerns or you want to run a scenario by us, call us, send us a DM, comment on here, and I'll try to follow it and make sure I'm getting back to you. I mean, there's just so much, and I know we all have questions, and that's why we do this, guys.
Guys, and just real quick, as CJ said, you can hit us on social with your questions, with thoughts, comments. Also, if you want to have us touch on a subject, we can put it in a future episode. But don't forget, stop by, spend some time with us, because we're talking about different subjects here, and as you pop up questions, we're answering, but we'd love to spend that one-on-one time and really be able to talk about how this can benefit you personally, because everybody's story is different. Everybody's dosage is going to be different, and we want to work with you all at the very least to educate and spend time with you and find out what's going on and hopefully present a solution. So Ahwatukee, Chandler Boulevard, 4909. We're also in Tucson at 407 East Fort Lowell. And soon to be Maricopa, also Gilbert coming very soon. So we're popping up. We're not popping up just for sales, guys. We're popping up so that we can be everywhere.
It's about accessibility.
We
know you all can't come to see me in Ahwatukee. We know you stop by even the pawn shop with questions.
Yeah.
And we just know it's a matter of mobility. We're going to try to make this and our services accessible to everyone as possible. Whether it be online, whether it be... I mean, we have some huge things coming. I want you guys to know this. Dr. Joel Lopez, I hope you're watching this. We're not going to drop that bomb on these folks yet, but...
Just think wellness.
Think wellness. Mental health, physical health, health and wellness, people. This is not a hype. This is not something that's ever going to go away either, because I'll tell you what, this is going to change the world. It's about quality of life. It's not about, we're not promising you the cure for anything here. We're telling you that from our experience, this product, tomorrow will be a better day than today. And in my life, that's really all I can ask for. Hope you all had a great night. If we don't see any more questions, let me just scroll through here real quick, make sure we got everybody. Laura, you're awesome. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you guys for spending time with us.
I have a roller and a 5-gallon bucket of paint over here if you're feeling very participatory. But yeah, so I guess if there's no more questions, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. And Ruben, what's up? Did you get my list? Because Art's been punking me about these signs, man.
Ruben, we're trying to grow, man. We need you.
Gotta put up signs, man.
We know you're everywhere, though.
We know you're busy, bro. We know you're busy. All right, guys. We love you. Thank you. Have a great night.